when you're at your best, what do you think? What do you think contributes to that approach? Is it memory recall of specific lines and positions? Is it intuition? How much of it is intuition? How much of it is pure calculation? How much of it is messing with the strategy of the opponent? So the game theory aspect, in terms of what contributes to the highest level of play that you do.
I think the answer differs a little bit now from what it did 8 years ago. For instance, like I feel like I've had like two peaks in my career in 2014. 2013, 2014, and also in 2019. And in those years, I was very different in terms of my strengths. Specifically in 2019, I benefited a lot from opening preparation. While in 2013, 2014, I mostly tried to avoid my opponent's preparation rather than that being a strength. So I'm mentioning that also because it's something you didn't mention. I think like my intuitive understanding of chess has over those years always been a little bit better than the others, even though it has evolved as well. Certainly there are things that I understand now that I didn't understand back then, but that's not only for me, that's for others as well. I was younger back then, so I played with more energy, which meant that I could play better in long drawn out games, which was also a necessity for me because I couldn't beat people in the openings. But in terms of calculation, that's always been a weird issue for me. Like I've always been really, really bad at solving exercises in chess. Like that's been like a blind spot for me. First of all, I found it hard to concentrate on them and to look deep enough.
So this is like a puzzle, a position,
yeah.
mate in X.
I mean, one thing is mate, but find the best move. That's generally the exercise. Like find the best move, find the best line.
You just don't connect with it.
Usually, like you have to look deep, and then when I get these lines during the game, I very often find the right solution, even though it's not still the best part of my game to calculate very, very deeply.
But it doesn't feel like calculation, you're saying, in terms of...
No, it does sometimes, but for me, it's more like I'm at the board trying to find the solution, and I understand like the training at home is like trying a little bit to replicate that. Like you give somebody half an hour in a position, like in this instance, you might have thought for half an hour if you played a game, but I just cannot do it. One thing I know that I am good at though is calculating short lines, because I calculate them well. I'm good at seeing little details, and I'm also much better than most at evaluating, which I think is something that sets me apart from others.
So evaluating specific position, if I make this move and the position changes in this way, is this a step in the right direction, like in a big picture way?
Yeah, like you calculate a few moves ahead and then you evaluate, because a lot of the times you cannot. The branches become so big that you cannot calculate everything, so you have
like a fog.
Yeah, so you have to make evaluations based on, based mostly on knowledge and intuition, and somehow I seem to do that pretty well.
When you say you're good at short lines, what's that? What's short?
That's usually like lines of 2 to 4 moves each.
Okay, so that's directly applicable to even faster games like blitz, chess, and so on.
Yeah, Blitz is a lot about calculating force lines. So those, you can see pretty clearly that the players who struggle at Blitz, who are great at Classical, are those who rely on a deep calculating ability, because you simply don't have time for that in Blitz. You have to calculate quickly and rely a lot on intuition.